Hello, the purpose of this video is to show you how to create buttons in Boardmaker 7 and how to create those symbols. So in order to create a symbol, you're going to click on button, and most typical symbols are 1.5 by 1.5. So I'm going to use the grid lines here, and I'm going to start at 1, and I'm going to go over to 1.5, and then 1 horizontally, and then 1.5 vertically, and then double check, make sure they're still lined up. And then I'm going to move my symbol over here so that I'm optimizing all the space on my page. I'm going to go over here and I'm going where it says properties. I'm going to actually go to symbols. I'm going to search for a symbol. We are going to look for a lunch symbol. Okay. I'm going to pick the one that fits my student best. The student that I'm so happy to make this for uses a lunch bag. So I'm going to go ahead and click that and bring it over to my button. Okay. So now I would like to make a whole row of lunch bags. So I'm going to use my spray tool. I'm going to click on the lunch bag, and then I'm going to drag it to as many as I want. So now I have a whole row of lunch bags. Now I have another friend that I'm going to make a lunch symbol for, but he uses a lunch box. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my spray tool so that I can copy the same size symbol. But then I'm going to use this and I'm going to put it in here and replace it. So it says, do you want to replace the item? Replace. So now I have a lunch box. Okay. Let's say I don't want it to say lunchbox. Let's say I just want it to say lunch. I'm going to go back over to properties, and I'm going to make sure I have the button selected that I want to edit, and I'm going to go to edit text.
Lunch.
And you might not be able to see this on my screencast, but there's a text box that pops up and it says lunchbox. I'm going to edit, and I'm just going to make it say lunch, and then there's a green save button. I'm going to hit save. So now if you look, it just says lunch. I'm going to practice spraying again, and I'm going to hold my mouse down and spray a whole row of lunch. Okay. One other thing I want to show you while I'm making a video is other options for looking up symbols. So if I go to my symbols, I can use these symbols that are already in Boardmaker. I can go to my media and I can search or add personal media that I have, or I can go to the web and pick a picture from the web. Okay. You can also decide, if you go back to properties, if you want a border on your symbols or not. So you could go to style, border. If I don't want a border, I will say no color. I don't want a border. You can create lines if you would like to separate things. You can have them go diagonal, horizontal, however you want. You can also add a label, like if you're making a recipe, you could do that. And then you'll edit the text the same as you would if you're editing a label on a button. And that is how to create a button on Boardmaker.